Hey there, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be doing the first part of this winter wreath with a 3D bow. So if you want to see how we got this look, then stay tuned. Alright, so I am doing this look just on a practice tip. I like to keep these stiletto ones on hand because they give me a lot of room to work with if I'm trying to do some complicated art, right? It's a lot more space than working on sort of a natural nail bed. So I'm just putting down 2 coats of white gel polish. I just want to get a nice crisp background, and I'm just going to cure that. They cure for 30 seconds each. The colors I'm going to use today are from Medusa. I really like these potted gels for art. They're easy to control. They don't run everywhere. They've got good pigmentation. So I really like them. I've got Fir Tree, which is a shimmery emerald green, Joshua Tree, which is sort of like a brownish green, and then Baby Bonsai, which is a little bit more like a Kelly green. So I put all of those onto my palette, and I added a little bit of white because I knew I was going to create sort of like a sage, like a light sage color. So I'm using the silver brush from Wildflowers Nails, which is technically a 3D, like a 3D brush to make like acrylic flowers and things. But I like this brush for things like this because the tip comes to a point. So it gives me the opportunity to sort of create a natural leaf shape, and sort of direct my polish differently than if I were to have a brush that had a rounded or a flat, like a square tip. So this one's really nice. On sale right now. By the way, I think these are like $10 or $12 right now. But I'm just going around, and as you can see, I'm speeding this up a little bit, and I'm just putting down my initial set of leaves and just getting the shape of the wreath down. If you wanted to, you could make sort of like a semicircle. You could draw out, like sketch out a semicircle and then work off of that. I'm just sort of eyeballing it. I feel like it gives it a really natural look, which is obviously what I'm going for. So here I'm just mixing some of the shades with white, going back in and just lightening it up. Obviously, when you look at a actual wreath, there's a lot of depth and dimension. I'll insert a picture of the wreath that I was actually using as inspiration for this nail look. But I'm gonna layer it, right? So I put down that first layer, and of course you could just finish with that, right? But I wanted it to have sort of a more realistic appearance. So I'm layering my greens. I'm going in with the lighter green, and then I'm gonna come back in with a couple of darker shades, some of the shimmery green as well, just to fill in some of the gaps. So I'll let you guys watch that, and then I'll come back when we're done. What's great about this look is there's really not a right or wrong way to do it. I decided I wanted to add a little bit of snow, and I wanted it to look like it was falling from obviously the sky, so it was coming from the top side of the wreath. So I'm just going in with a detailer brush and a little bit of that white, and I'm really just smushing it. Like there's not really a great term for what I'm doing here. I'm starting thin and smushing out some areas, making some spots higher and some spots lower to make it look like it's actually sitting on top of a 3-dimensional wreath where, you know, the snow would hit the higher parts and then fall down into the valleys. This next shade is called the Rockies. This is from the fall collection from Medusa. And I'm taking this on a really thin detailer brush just to do some branches. I just felt like this would be a nice touch to add the holly leaves to tie in with the bow that will come eventually. So I just, I like wreaths. I think they're really interesting when you have like a lot of visual elements. So I wanted to add some sticks and some holly leaves just to add a little bit more interest. I am curing in between each of these steps, just a flash cure for like 10 or 15 seconds. So you can see I was able to sort of wipe off that branch. It got away from me a little bit. It was a little bit longer than I wanted it to be, but flash curing in between your art is a really nice way to make sure you don't lose anything, right, if you make a mistake. The next color I'm using is the color of Love. This is actually the exact same shade as their primary red as well. It's just a really nicely pigmented red shade. So I didn't like the berries. They were a little bit too big, and then my tip broke. I went to go wipe it off, and I guess I was a little bit too rough, and it literally just snapped off the handle, so we had to move over to the tip stand. I don't know if that's ever happened to you guys. I'm a little bit heavy-handed, I guess. Brute force is sort of my number one method of getting stuff done. So obviously the tip took the brunt of that today. But I'm just going in with a small dotting tool and adding some holly berries. I'm using mostly clusters of 3, but I'm not being perfect with them. Some are bigger, some are smaller. Just take your time and make sure you get them where you want them. They do really add to the look, so you're going to want to take your time sort of positioning them well. Bridal Shower is a gold glitter with pretty good pigmentation. Definitely be sure to stir these gels before you start to use them because some of the pigment sort of settles to the bottom at times. But I wanted these to look a little bit like ornaments or baubles, as they call them. I like baubles. I think that's cute. So I'm just putting some ornaments throughout, obviously avoiding the snow so that it has a little bit of sparkle. And this is where we're at, right? So this is part 1. Part 2 is going to be adding the bow and giving it sort of a 3D effect. So I'm just going in with some top coat, some top gloss, just to seal everything in, and then we'll come back on the next day for the rest of the design. And yeah, of course you could totally stop here. It's very pretty. This would be really nice for somebody with a smaller nail. But if you want to see how we got the whole look, you're going to have to come back. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. We'll see you next time. Bye, guys.